So if you can guess what I'm doing, it's at the site once again. So here we go. We're used to it, he said, sprinkling sand, puddles of blood. The pale sand had lifted the red and gave it new substance. Another body, now that the host was dismembered, and bits of blue cloth clung to overreaching branches. We're used to it, he said, bending to collect a brown shoe that pointed the way out of Baghdad. As he walked to a safety barrier nearby, a sudden breeze rippled a string of orange prayer beads dangling from a hook. What's different about this one, though, is that we know his face, because his head was intact. I blame everyone, but the shoe held its tongue. So, yeah, so I, call me a sicko, I guess, but I've seen a lot of, like, never been to combat or anything, obviously, but seen a lot of, like, things on the internet, especially, like, going on in Syria. And bombs, I will say, are particularly gross. And, you see, like, I mean, we see all the time, like, footage from targeting pods and stuff blowing up, but, it's kind of hard to really see the aftermath, especially when it's black and white FLIR footage. And, yeah, there's some pretty kind of odd things you wouldn't really think would happen. And this poem really kind of spoke to me because it kind of made me think, okay, here's someone who was probably there and probably kind of understands the kind of strangeness that explosives do. I mean, clothes particularly get blown off. That's really common to see, like, kind of semi-naked bodies and body parts around. And also the head intact thing, especially with suicide vests, it's kind of a common thing to see people's faces kind of unfold off their skull for suicide bombers. And it's kind of weird to imagine, like, there are pieces there, like the prayer beads he's probably wearing around his neck got blown off, and now they're hanging up somewhere. His clothes hanging up somewhere. Yeah, there's blood. And, people have to, like, clean that up and take care of that afterwards. And man, like, that's probably as traumatizing to do as to witness the explosion itself. So yeah, and then the shoe held its tongue. My thought behind that was his foot was probably still in there, and it was tied like the tongue of the shoe. So yeah, it's weird to imagine, like, someone standing there, and then all of a sudden there's all these little chunks, and yeah, so that kind of, I saw that as, ooh, that's pretty real. And obviously it bothered the narrator, but whoever the narrator, I can't remember, it was a she, I think, from the New York Times. Whoever she was talking to was like, yeah, we're used to it, we see chunks of people all the time, and that's what it is. And the way out of Baghdad, I guess, is for them to blow themselves up. So, yeah, that's at the site.
Cool. Yeah, the way out of, how do you get out of Baghdad, right? So, I guess that's the way I always picture it. It's really like this.
Yeah, it's more movies, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Interesting. And I like you point out that shoe, that foot is still inside that shoe. Yeah. What about that delivery? You talked about the delivery, Jarvis.
It was good. I thought it was appropriate. He was definitely confident up there, and he put himself in the situation. I think he